Again, I'm Kerry from St. Cloud State University. St. Cloud State University is a public university in central Minnesota. We're about an hour north of the Twin Cities. We have 17,000 students at our school, and we have a well-respected accounting program. We're not a Tier 1 research institute. That's the University of Minnesota, but we consider ourselves number 2 in the state. Excuse me, I'm going to go. My co-researcher, Kate Mooney, couldn't be here today. That was good news for me, so that I could come here and present to you. She presented this at the Eastern Conference. The background of our research, we had been talking about this, about the 150 credit requirement, and we had talked about it for a while, looking into it and how the students were satisfying this. Then thanks to NASBA, the opportunity to apply for the grant came up and we were awarded a grant, and that spurred our research on. So thanks to NASBA for that grant. There are obviously a variety in different requirements in the jurisdictions. Most of the undergraduate degrees require 120 credits to graduate. And most jurisdictions don't specify the additional 30 credits needed to reach the 150 credits. So our hypothesis was that students were using irrelevant courses and credits to reach that 150 credit hour. So what we did is we took transcripts, about almost 500, 444 transcripts from the summer of 2006 through the summer of 2011, and we looked at those transcripts. And we took from 120 credits on, anything they had additional from 120, and we classified those credits as relevant. And relevant would be if they were in a business course, finance course, econ, if they touched on the core competencies, any of those areas, we classified those as relevant. Irrelevant, we said underwater basket weaving or history of rock and roll or something. That's a course we have at St. Cloud State. But if that's how they were fulfilling those 30 credits. And then unintentional. Unintentional means that they weren't taken usually prior to admittance to the accounting major. Not that they weren't they were intentional for whatever the student was studying prior to that, but unintentional as to fulfilling the 150 credit hour. We found that a number of students didn't decide on accounting. They don't come right into our school saying, I'm going to be an accounting major. Right? They decide that maybe they know they want to major in business, and then as they take their first accounting classes, they decide on accounting. Or they're transfer students from a 2-year school institution. So our results, 75% of our students had transfer credits, an average of 34 transfer credits. 70% of the graduates, the accounting graduates, had 150 credits or more at graduation. And 45% of those with 150 had either a major, an additional major, or minor. Typically, these additional majors or minors were finance. We saw the finance major or minor most, and then econ. We saw a number of Spanish minors along with this. So that's where the most majors and minors went. And those with 150 credits averaged 24 unintentional credits and 3 irrelevant credits. So what we found in our school is that students are reaching the 150 credits mostly with irrelevant credits. They have had these additional credits before they finished their accounting major. Okay, they weren't adding irrelevant, the underwater basket weaving or the history of rock and roll to reach the 150 credits. And so as we talked about this, Kate Mooney and I were talking about it, and we don't think that we think it would be detrimental to specify, or may be detrimental, to specify what those additional 30 credits would be for this sample of students that we chose. Because when they reach the end of their accounting degree, when they fulfill those requirements, most of them do have the 150 credit hours already, and not through choosing having to add additional credits. They have the unintentional credits. We're hoping to expand this project, and we're going to be looking at private schools next. Take a selection of private schools, because their students, the demographics of those students may be quite different.